Hello kids! Welcome to our video lesson presentation in APP on propagating trees and fruit-bearing trees using scientific processes. This lesson is a new learning material which will help you acquire more knowledge about yourself and the wonders of your surroundings. Try to explore and discover in order to learn the scientific ways of propagating trees. As you watch through this video lesson, you will find engaging questions about plants propagation. I encourage you to find ways to answer these questions by providing you varied activities. They are designed for you to follow scientific procedure and will lead you in searching for the answer to your own inquiries. So before anything else, we have here our lesson objectives. 1. Propagate trees and fruit-bearing trees using scientific processes. 2. Identify the appropriate tools and equipment in plant propagation and their uses. 3. Demonstrate scientific way of propagating fruit-bearing trees. And 4. Observes healthy and safety measures in propagating fruit-bearing trees. So now let's have a short review. So you've learned already the importance of trees. You have there remove carbon dioxide, provides fruit, provide medicine, reduce soil erosion, and of course, trees prevent flooding and add oxygen and cools our houses. So children, if you have chance, plant a tree to save our earth. And I have here also with you a drill, just to check how familiar are you with these tools and equipment. So you are going to put a check mark if you are familiar or have used the following tools at home or in school, and a cross mark if it is something new to you. Okay, just check and write cross mark or X. In this case, there's no right answer and wrong answer. It's your own experience. So let's proceed. Let's have the tree lesson. We have the definition of plant propagation. We will define propagation as production of new individuals from a selected plant having all the characters of the original one. So there are two methods in plant propagation. First is sexual propagation of plant. In this method, plant propagation is done through seeds. It is also known as seed propagation. Seeds are produced as a result by sexual reproduction in fruits of the plants. A plant grown from seed may have different characteristics than its parent tree. Some plants may not have seeds. So, sexual reproduction in plants, it starts with flower. Flower produces seeds. Then seeds are pollinated or fertilized by insects or wind. And seed is harvested and planted to produce new plant. So this is how a sexual propagation illustrated. See, it's a cycle. Let's have the second method. It's asexual propagation. Asexual uses growing plant parts other than seeds. There are several different methods. You have their cutting, layering, division or separation, budding, grafting, and tissue culture. So as you go along, you're going to learn all this possible different method. Asexual propagation is a reproduction of new plants from stems, leaves, or roots of a parent plant. Portions of parent plants are used to make new plants. Asexual propagation allows one to produce more plants faster, propagate plants to do not produce viable seeds, and to produce plants that are identical to the parent plant. A plant that is identical to the parent plant is known as a clone. Okay, one example of asexual propagation is cutting. So as illustrated there, you're going to cut the stem of the parent plant using a sharp object. It would be a blade or a pruning shear or a knife, and then you're going to plant the stem in order to have a new plant, and that is cloning. So here are the following methods of plant propagation. There are 10. You have seeds, suckers, runners, rhizomes, cuttings, grafting, layering, marketing, budding, enarching. So we are going to talk all that 10 methods here. So let's start with seed propagation. So this is illustrated. So you're going to start with the seed, then it will germinate and grow more. And of course, it has a new plant already. Then the suckers. Sucker is a lateral branch developing from underground parts of the stem or roots. Suckers arises from below the surface or soil. The tendency of sucking is possessed only by a few plants. Banana develops two types of suckers, the sword suckers and the water suckers. The sword suckers are used for propagation of banana. So banana is an example of suckers. Then rhizomes. A rhizome is a horizontal stem growing either underground or along the surface of ground. It is main axis of the plant, producing roots on its lower surface and leaves. Flowering shoots above the ground. Rhizomes show nodes and internodes just like the aerial stem. So an example of this are ginger and turmeric. Then the runners. Horizontal running over the soil surface. So see the illustration there. Terminal bud of runner sends up new shoots. So example, the strawberries and creeping buttercup. So the roots will run, then it will grow to the new plant. And the cutting, this is very, very, very common. So plant cuttings, you can cut the stem, the leaf with petiole, leaf sections, or the root cutting. Grafting. So you've learned already this grafting in the previous lesson. So this is how grafting look like. And the step. You have the scion, the stalk. So you have the graft union, and you have to wrap and wax. Then the layering. So see, you're using the peg. You're going to push down the stem into the soil, below the soil, or the shoot, so that it will develop a new plant. Root first, then a new plant. And the market. So, we've talked that already. Same as budding. So, this is an example of budding. Enarching method. So, enarching method is more or less same as grafting. You're going to join the other plant, two plants join their stem, and you're going to wrap that to have a new plant. Now let's have the tools and equipment in propagating trees and fruit-bearing trees. I'm going to show your pictures and the name. So just learn their definition. So this is a hoe. Then rake. Then we have trowel, the axe, the crowbar, and the bolo. You have the shovel. You have the fork. So it's resembling a table fork, but it is much more bigger in size. You have the water sprinkler and the wheelbarrow. Okay, you have there the hose for watering more plants, matured plants, but to seedlings, it's dangerous. Then the sprayer. You spray your chemicals or fertilizers, or even if for sensitive plants like succulent, you use the sprayer in watering them. We have the weighing scale for weighing plants, seeds, and fertilizers. And you may have pieces of wood or bamboo to secure plants. You have the pruning shears, used for cutting for safety cutting. And of course, the garden gloves, used while working in the garden, made of strong rubber to protect from thorns and withstand punctures. So, very important are garden gloves to protect your hand. Now let's have the health and safety practices in propagating trees. You have to make sure that the tools are in good condition. Use sharp objects properly. Make sure nobody is at your back or near you so that you cannot harm anybody. Focus on what you are doing. Don't flew out your mind. Then fourth, clean and wash the tools before keeping and oil the metal parts or tools. You have all the materials or tools needed ready before starting to work. 6. Wear a proper attire like loose, comfortable, and absorbent clothing gives freedom of movement and feeling of comfort and freshness. Don't use tight jeans. 7. Wear hat to protect you from the extreme heat of the sun. And 8. Wear gloves when handling plants, soil, and compost. 9. Wash hands thoroughly after working. That's very, very important. And the last, you have to change clothing, most especially when using chemical fertilizers and pesticide. So you have to be very careful of ourselves. Safety first, children. Now, oh my God, it's your activity time. Are you ready? Please do prepare your activity notebook and your pen. Directions. Write on your answer sheet true if the statement is correct and false if it is not. So I'm going to read number 1 and write down right away your answer because as we go along, we are going to check one by one. So for number 1, sharp-edged tools should be placed in a cabinet to prevent anyone from getting hurt. Is it true or false? So your answer is true. Then let's proceed with number 2. Use broken or damaged tools for your safety. Do you think so? And the statement is, of course, it is false. Number 3, keep the tools directly in the cabinet after using. You're going to keep the tools directly in the cabinet after using. The statement is, of course, false. You need to clean it first. Number 4, if the tools will not be used for a long time, wipe the metal with oil to prevent rusting. Can you decide now? The statement is true. So let's proceed with number 5. Use the right tools for the right purpose. How about this statement? Is the statement correct or not? It is true. 6. Wash your hands after working. What do you think? This is true. 7. Wear any attire when working. So if you are going to do your Gardening, you're going to wear gown because it says there any attire. You can wear your gown, you can wear your what? Sunday's dress, your favorite dress. So the statement is, of course, false. You're going to wear appropriate attire in working. Then 8, use cautiously sharp and pointed tools. Meaning you are going to use sharp and pointed tools with your own proper way and cautions. So this is yes, true. 9, wear masks and gloves when using chemicals. Answer, true. And number 10, have all the needed tools and materials ready before starting to work. What do you think? Is this true or false? Answer, true. Very good. So let's proceed. Here, you're going to identify the tools and equipment being described. Choose the answer from the box and write on your paper or activity notebook. So, in our presentation, you have there the picture and the name of the equipment or tools with their description. So this time, I hope you can still recall their descriptions. So let's start with number 1. A tool resembling a table fork but much bigger in size. So choose your answer on the box. You have to write your answer now in number 1 because we check one by one as I read the questions. So your answer is fork. Number 2, a can or plastic with a sprout to sprinkle water on the plants. That's very obvious. What tool is that? It is sprinkler. Number 3, a tool with a curved blade. What kind of tool is this? It has a curved blade. Write down your answer now and let's check. It is trowel. Very good. Number 4, a tool with a flat, sharp blade fastened to a handle. Okay, understand the description and name the correct tool. It is axe. And number 5, a long-handled tool having a bar at one end with teeth in. A tool has a teeth. How about teacher Clivy? Joking. So, the tool is a rake. Number 6, a straight, heavy iron bar pointed at one end about 4 feet in height. This is crowbar. Number 7, a broad scope attached to the handle. What kind of equipment or tool is this? This is shovel. Then number 8, a tool with a wooden or metal handle in which a long blade is attached. Long blade is attached. So it is a bolo. 9, it has a thin blade across the end of a long handle. So this time, a thin blade across the end of the long handle. What do you think? This is hoe. 10, the last one. It is a tool with a wheel. This is the only tool with a wheel or an equipment with a wheel so that you can carry heavy objects. And this is a wheelbarrow. So did you answers all correct? Sana. So, you're all set? Let's proceed to the next. So this time you are going to fill in the blanks with the correct letters to form the word being described. So you have here letters given to you. You have for number one, you have A, C, and T. So you are going to fill in the letters there, the blank that describes the method in propagating plants or trees. Did you get it? So let's start with number one. The process of inducing a branch or a twig to produce roots while it is attached to the parent plant. So what method of propagation is being described in number one? This is the process of inducing a branch or a twig to produce roots while it is attached to the parent plant. Write down your answer. So this is correct, marketing. Then let's proceed to number two. So it starts with letter B, then you fill in three letters, then an I, then another letter to form this process. It is the union of one bud and a small piece of bark from the scion with a root stock. So what way or method of propagation is being described in number two? Write down your answer. Let's check whether we have the same answer. It is budding. Then number three, the joining of two separate plants like roots and stem or two stems to form a union and grow as one plant. So it is a union. So this is grafting. Then number four, a process wherein an uncut branch or a shoot touches the ground or soil and develops roots and becomes an independent plant or a new plant. What process is this? This is correct, layering. And for number five, the last process, a process where the scion is united with its rootstock. So the scion is united with its rootstock. The method is enarching. So you have there still more methods, but we're just going to name five. So now you are ready for your yay! We did it! We did it! We did it! Hooray! Let's have your assessment. 1. It's a multiple choice. You're going to choose the letter of the correct answer. Write it on your answer sheet. Okay, so work on 1 to 4. Read the sentences or the questions properly and choose your answer. 1. Write down your answer. 2, 3, and 4. So let's proceed to 5 to 10. Read properly. Okay, time is up. We have to check your answer. Don't forget to write your scores, huh? Kids? So here's the answer key. So check, check, check. Hopefully you got all 10. If not, you can rewatch this video presentation again for your further learning. And of course, you have to answer correct. All correct. Activity assessment 2. Same thing. You're going to choose the letter of the correct answer, then write your answer on your answer sheet. So work on number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4, number 5. This time you're going to, I think, to identify the tools and equipment. Okay, proceed to number 1. This is a rake. You check now your answers. Number 2, it's the ox. Number 3, it's the fork. So digging, preparing soil for the plants. For number 4, it is used for cutting unnecessary small branches of trees. You have the pruning shears. And for number 5, it is used for watering the plants. It is what? It may be bolo, sprinkler, fertilizer, or shovel. It is a sprinkler. Very good. So now for number 3. Assessment 3, I mean. So you are going to list down the health and safety practices. Group them according to their proper heading. Write the letters only on your paper. So meaning you have there A to J. So you're going to classify whether it is an health practices or a safety practices. For example, number 1, wearing mask when using chemicals. What do you think it is? Is it a health practice or a safety practice? So you are going to classify the practices from A to J to its proper heading. You have the health practices and the safety practices. Did you get it? Okay, so classify it now. So let's begin with the health practices. Check your answer. Okay, there you have it. The health practices are letter A, B, D, E, and F. So all those practices are considered a health practices. Then let's proceed with safety practices. So extra careful in handling pointed tools. Of course, it's a safety. And G, provide the right place for tools. Then you have their H, you have the I, and the J. So good job, kids. Children, you did it. Congratulations. Well done. So now you have your additional activity. This is very, 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 very exciting. So for the direction, you're going to do the following to demonstrate what you've learned. So instruction 1. You have to choose one from the scientific ways of propagating fruit-bearing trees or plants. Second, you're going to prepare the needed materials according to what method you have chosen to perform. Demonstrate the step-by-step process by doing it with the guidance, of course, of your mother or any member of your family. Always practice precautionary measures in doing the activity. Safety first, kids. Then you're going to present it through video presentation. So you may turn in our Google Classroom, or you can PM that in my Messenger account. 6. Be guided accordingly, and most especially, have fun when doing your work or your activity. Did you get it? Do you understand? Well, if you have questions, you know where to message me. So, there you are. Have fun, relax. Thank you, kids. Bye.